Hello, everybody. Welcome to Santa's Switch Adapted Toys. Today we've got the LeapFrog Let's Record music player. And boy, is this a highly detailed operation. It says here you can record 30 minutes of your voice or silly sounds, music, whatever it is that you happen to have to put onto it. And that's actually the reason that I got the request to try to adapt this is so that caregiver can set it up and the user can then record at their pleasure and play back. I'm not sure that this is going to completely function as desired, though. And the reason for that is I've discovered that what happens is you record a message on here or whatever it is, and it saves that message on one of these 10 buttons. So in order to play the message back, the user then has to come in and choose which one of those buttons they want to play it, what messages they want to play by selecting those buttons, which is kind of a little difficult because you go in and you have one adaptive switch hit into the record side. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put this onto the record, okay? But once that message is there, in order for the user to play it back, they now have to be able to touch one of these 10 buttons. And that would require an additional 10 more adaptive switches, 10 more cables. And I'm not sure that that's going to work well, but for the purposes of being able to adapt it to record, we're going to do that for this toy. Okay. So to do that, what we need is obviously a cable. I'm going to drill a hole in here where I decide that that cable enters the body. And I'm not going to record something. I'm going to turn this on. We need to verify that it works. So turn it back off again. Always make sure that the toy works. I purchased this toy from Amazon. They sent it to me. I took it out of the packaging and absolutely nothing. I couldn't get it to turn on. Put the switch on and off, did exactly what I expected. There was no manual in the box, so I went and downloaded the manual, which is kind of complicated just to find on the LeapFrog site. I changed the batteries to new batteries. I've got a whole stack of them sitting here that I put in here, and absolutely nothing would work. But this one here came to me ready to go. So I had confidence that we could get something adapted. To open this up, just you actually need to open up the battery box. And that is because one of the screws that holds the case together is inside underneath the battery cover. So we're removing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws. I've already got some of them taken out. Put some back in. Once we get inside of here, you're going to see some other challenges to doing this. I'm sure glad that I was able to assess the toy and save you some trouble as to what needs to be opened up and done and locate the switch for the record button. But I'm holding the clamshell, the whole case pretty well closed. I'm going to put battery cover back on simply so that the batteries don't bounce out. Okay, set that to the side. When I open up this case, 3 things are going to happen. This green section here is going to fall off. This blue piece on the bottom is going to fall off, and potentially the green on this side could fall off depending on how we handle it. Also, let's see. Well, let's just open it up. Okay, so we're gonna pry it open a bit. And yeah, as I indicated, two parts just fell right out. This green hasn't fallen out yet, but it will because we need to remove this circuit board. Okay, so the record button, the place that we're going to work to add adaptive switch, is on the circuit board right here. Okay. It is this switch. And it's a nice because it is a nice square block switch. I like these type of switches because they have good big solder points on them, except in this orientation, I cannot see the solder points. And that is because the solder points for this one is on the other side of the circuit board. So we need to pull the circuit board out so we can gain access to where we're going to put our cable. Now, boy, I hadn't even thought about that yet. Hold on a minute here. This is going to be very interesting. Yeah, we got some potential. Yeah, we have potential. Good. Okay. I opened it up earlier to find out where this was and how to get to it, but I didn't think about, and you can see this is kind of a complicated in the way short wires. So you're going to be kind of dealing with that. So there's 3 screws to removing the circuit board. There's one. I'm sorry. There's one here. Little arrow is going to point to that, by the way, a screw here and a screw here. We don't see the arrows. We see a little black line. But once I remove the screws, I noticed that there was an arrow there. So just like we did, yeah, where it go? Come on. For the case screws, we put these into these are smaller than the case screws. So you want to make sure you grab the right one when we put them in, but they can easily be differentiated. They don't need to be put into a second bucket. Oh, wait a minute. I just noticed what's going to happen here. I want you to notice putting this back together is going to be a little fun. This blue protrusion sticking up through the circuit board. Before I go any further, I want to turn this over and show you this dial. This dial is going to fall out when we remove that circuit board. It needs to be put back into the exact orientation where you see that little blue protrusion sticking through, and you can see that it's cut. The circuit board is cut to fit that can only go in one way. Okay, but we're going to pay attention to that when we get, as we proceed along here. I'm going to finish removing this 3rd screw. And this is what I was talking about. There's nuances about opening up this toy. So now the circuit board is loose and can be picked up. You can see that we have some parts that are sticking into the green plate. When I picked up the circuit board, this comes off. The slide button power comes off. And we are now able to turn this plate over. Oh, wait a minute. We no longer see that blue protrusion through there, and that is because I'm going to turn that over. When I move this over, we have a little freedom. It's sitting in here. And you can see those fine wires that follow this track during operation. And the position that those wires are in on this track, you see there's 5 breaks. Indicate what this is doing. I'm going to try and leave that there while we do our work. But keep in mind that this has got to be put back together right, okay? All right, so doing the work. Okay, we'll pick this back camera. These two fine wires right here, it says mic, M-I-C. Right next to it is two solder points, solder posts. You can see that. They're in this corner, two side by side. This is what we're going to attach our adaptive cable to, adaptive switch. So we have, did I bring the cable up here yet? Yes, I did. Okay, we have the cable. We need to get it into here. To get it into there, I am going to, let's see. It should work well. I'm going to drill my hole right here in the bottom rounded section, because there's nothing interfering with a cable coming through here. Okay. So we're going to pass that cable through this hole that I just drilled. And we're going to tie a knot in that cable as a strain relief. See all this manipulating, moving around? This dial's moving. So remember I talked about the orientation of that. Okay. I need for this cable to go to, let's see, where's that wire? Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Okay, stop, hold it here. I pointed out two connection points here called mic. That's wrong. X. I forgot that I turned the board over. Okay, orientations, right? When I turned the board over, what was near to me became far. Turning it back over, there's the button. There's the switch we're trying to get to. And that switch is actually right here. Okay. Okay, so it's not here. It's over here. Mic key. Oh, Mickey. Okay, microphone key. And over here at the microphone key, there's actually, it appears to be 4 contact points. The two that are closest to the words mic key, microphone key, are the ones that are the part of the switch. That's where we're going to attach our wires to. Okay. Not here, but over there. Okay. So I need enough room in my cable when I tie my strain relief knot in it, that these wires can easily be set over here. So I'm not ambidextrous. I'm right-handed. I need this. The only reason I'm turning this whole thing around is so I can tie a knot. I know that it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So I've got a knot in here, and I'm giving myself a little room. Let's see how, if I tighten that up, bring the knot over. I've got plenty of wire, plenty of cable coming in without being a nuisance or a hazard inside the toy. So let's bring this back over. Good. Okay, so now we're going to turn this around. Now, for soldering purposes, I can pull this wire back in, cable back in, because, and also here, let's look at my path. When I flip this back over and start reassembling it, I like the fact that the cable is going to be outside of any moving parts. It's going to be over here next to the outside of the case, and it's going to come right to where we want it inside of here to our solder points. I can actually make my cable, see if I can make it a little shorter. Yeah, I like that. Okay, but because I'm soldering it way over there and the circuit board's upside down, I can take advantage of all this here length and bring it over to the solder points. So I always like getting a little bit of solder on the soldering iron so that when I approach the soldering points, it's real easy. Oops. It's easy if I'm holding the wire in the right place. It's real easy to heat up the solder on the board, get the wire to stick to it, and call it good. Okay. One wire is soldered on. One wire is soldered on, and the other wire is soldered on. Okay. So I'm going to lay these over the top of them themselves. Normally I would say, okay, let's test to make sure that the wiring has been done. Our toy works. Unfortunately, the only way you can activate the microphone is if this is in the right position and these wires are laying on that board, because it requires that to be on the board for it to know that it's in the record mode. So we can't test it yet till we essentially reassemble this whole thing. So now let's get the cable managed. Fiddle with holding up the back of this. Fiddle with getting the cable managed over where we want it, where it won't get pinched. And then we are going to line up that red, I'm sorry, not that red, that blue button or protrusion from the other side to be here. Got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay. So we think we're good, but we're not. Bringing this to the camera is a little awkward because I've got to manage a few things, and I'm already kind of putting a strain on my two power wires, but I have to still get this in here and make sure that the power button is in the right spot. Again, I'm very cautious. I'm not pinching this. This has got to go back in. And are we going to be lucky enough to get, it looks, that looks good, and I just lost, nope, I got it back. Okay. Oh, and while I'm doing this, that button that's in the case down here that protrudes out the front is trying to protrude out the front and pushing the whole circuit board back up while I'm working on it. Let's see. I think we're getting close. Okay, so I've got this lined up enough. I can get one screw in back here to hold it in place. There's a pin that comes through the board for alignment purposes. And I see that we've got that without straining anything. So I'm going to just start that screw and get it kind of close. And now we're going to go back over and work on getting that side plate back in. I know, oh, perfect. It just dropped right in. All of a sudden it dropped right in. I know you're going to let me know if I'm making a mistake. If you see something in error, yell at me through the computer screen. Okay. So now I'm assured that I've got my wires nothing is pinched, and the third screw goes there. Okay, so now we can test, and again, that needed to be in position. I'm just going to set this together. We'll put those pieces in here in a moment. This is good. So this yellow dial needs to be pointing, there's an arrow on it, needs to be pointing at the microphone in order for us to record anything. Let's hook up an adaptive switch. I've got some adaptive switch mounted on the side of my table. Here's some switches basically that I just use because I do so many of these things, and it was convenient to put there. Pointing it here, turn the record button, turn the power button on. Okay. So I'm going to use the remote to push the record button.
Talk into the speaker. You have 3 minutes. Okay. When you're finished, press the record button.
3
minutes.
Ready?
3.
Okay. I'm going to turn it. I turned it off. I know that it works, but if I record a message here, it's going to stay on the on this device. The reason I know this is, let's turn it on. Let's play 1. Uh-oh. Let's go back. I'm going to press the number 1. Okay. So those noises, I don't know if you picked up the noises. I did not record a message on number 1. Let's press number 2 and see if you can hear. I'm going to press number 2 again. I brought my microphone over because sometimes my microphone doesn't pick things up. Pressing 2. So the reason I'm doing this is because it has retained a message that I recorded on number 2. It automatically assigned it to number 2. I don't know how to clear it from message number 2, but this is what was recorded. Okay, what was that? That was me pressing the record button while doing testing and just making noises with stuff. So it recorded and saved it to number 2. I don't know how to get it off in here. So we're going to make a recording here for purposes of this. Turning the power on, it's pointing at the microphone. I'm going to hit the adaptive switch, which just plugged off of here.
Talk into the speaker. You have 3 minutes. When you're finished, press the record button. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome to Santa's Switch Adapted Toys. It's an absolute pleasure having you here, watching me and helping me adapt toys and learning how to do this. So this is the LeapFrog Let's Record music player. And we're going to record this message on here, and we're going to see where it assigns it to, okay? So I finished recording. I'm now going to go over and I'm going to press my adaptive switch and see if I can stop that recording, okay?
Audio saved to number 3. It's on the yellow button.
Okay, so it has now saved it to the yellow button. Number 3, automatically, by default. Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome to Santa's Switch Adapted.
To make a recording, press the red button on the side.
I must have pressed something. Okay, let's do it again. I'm going to press the 3. Hello, everybody. everybody. Hey, welcome to Santa's Switch Adaptive Toys. It's an absolute pleasure having you here, watching me and helping adapt toys and learning how to do this. So this is the LeapFrog Let's Record music player, and we're going to record this message on here, and we're going to see where it assigns it to, okay? So I've finished recording. I'm now going to go over and I'm going to press my adaptive switch and see if I can stop that recording, okay? Okay, so it recorded it, default saved it to number 3. Now here's where the issue comes in for me.
To listen to a recording, press number 1,
Right.
2, or 3.
There you go. The device is saying that it has recordings on numbers 1, 2, and 3. Pre-recorded messages that were recorded by the user or the caregiver. But how does the user access them? Because the only thing that is connected with an adaptive switch is the record button. So I'm not going to go back in here and put 10 switches on because that just seems a little redundant, a little complicated. And I don't know that anyone's going to set 10 switches up in front to use this device. So let me know what you think. I will now continue putting this back together properly, set it to the side, and we'll see what happens, okay? Again, I really appreciate folks coming in and commenting and following me and learning how to do these things. If you enjoy these videos, as dry as they are, because they're just a camera down, but I hope that the content is informative for you. So if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can then be notified whenever I put another one up. If you have some requests for something, please put it in the comments. Let me know, see what I can do for you. So thank you very much. Enjoying what I'm doing. This is Santa Jerry from Santa Switch Adaptive Toys. Bye.